You know, you can change it to a male voice. I was joking. Even though it's true.
Myra's just getting finished over here, so.
I could have told you.
But my copies run over.
They haven't even started chimchurri yet.
Oh, look at this. Got his own toy. How lovely. They almost gave me one of those. An extra $5 more. T-Mobile. I'll do that.
Actually,
Huh? No, I just tried my best. How you been doing, Rabbi?
Sure, what do you think?
I was in a happy hour a couple times.
Happy hour? All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to get myself back to normal. I'm really
Where's everybody tonight?
I don't know. Maybe they're watching football too. Maybe they're watching something that's interesting. I don't know. Where are we at, Reggie?
Something going on tonight that I should know about?
I don't know.
Clearly, we don't know about it.
What time did you get home, David, last night?
It took me an hour and 30 minutes to get home.
Lucky dog, lucky dog. You know what time I got home? I got home at 11.
Why?
Because the traffic was so bad, I had to give the shir at 8. I had to stop at my aunt's house in Brooklyn.
Oh my gosh, I got home 10:30, 10:40.
It took me, I left the house at 6:30. I got to my aunt's house in Flatbush at 8.
Ugh.
Totally insane.
I complained for a minute, and my wife said, "Don't complain. You made everybody else do it for your wedding." She said, "You can't complain."
Yeah. In a way, it's easier than Lakewood. In a way, it's harder than Lakewood. Lakewood is at least straight. I mean,
right. This is crazy. It just takes you. It's just crazy the way it takes you.
Oh, good.
Yeah. All right. Okay, we're up to Kitzur, right? So it's a major simon over here. You having to see the shalom here? My wife needs it.
Tonight?
I don't know what time anyway. Yeah, she needs it. I'll get one from my phone. Okay, we're waiting for the chimchurri oil to settle down.
Welcome back.
You allowed to have chimichurri before you say sphira?
If you eat chimichurri, I don't know if you count sphira. I don't know if it. Welcome back. Okay.
Someone that doesn't want to get involved. You're getting involved.
Why am I getting involved?
The comments.
I have to make sure the island knows that this chimichurri over here is nothing to do with me.
I hear.
Right on time, Rabban. Right on time.
Yaakov wants to make sure they finish all the chimichurri before he goes.
The restroom in the airport. One of his forms was wrong.
I'm just waiting for it to get a little quiet. That's all.
Hello.
Any of the Far Rockaway Chevra go there? No.
What do you say?
Any Far Rockaway Chevra go there? Or we all stick to Zoom.
Not anymore. Ami rolls in every once in a while.
Today.
That's Moody. Sometimes you get it for free. Okay, here's the tzitzis, yeah? What? Give Groner $1,200. You get a sure, it's a sure. Okay, yeah. Okay, so Hilchos Tzitzis. Yo, boy, Chaf Aleph Sifra. So we got a lot of Hilchos Tzitzis is obviously a major sugya. So Gedolah Mitzvah Tzitzis, the Shulchan Aruch starts with the Mitzvah Tzitzis is so great, because the pasuk gives it equal weighting to all the mitzvahs. Shenemar, Hashem, and you should see them, and you remember all the mitzvahs. Right? So people think that for some reason, within the knots and the strings and all that, the 613, that's not what it is. Right?
It's even weirder.
Just tzitzis. What are you saying?
It's weirder than that.
It's weird. I guess it's weirder than that. More Hasidish than that. No, but tzitzis is gematria tough reish. Right? Tzitzis is 600. Then there's ches chutin. There's 8 strings.
5 knots.
Right? And hey ksharim and 5 knots. Hare taryag, that comes to 613. Right? That's a Gemara. That's not a Vart. I mean, I guess the Gemara could say Vertelach too. Right? But isn't it really more? Isn't it more? Isn't each corner ches chutin? No?
No.
Yeah.
It's 4 rep.
No, but that's
So
to
he's just picking
represent
one.
8.
Picking one.
Why? What is that? You pick. So one corner is not.
It's 8, right?
I know.
Well, you look at one corner at a time.
I know, but why are we looking at? I'm sorry to sound like a litvak over here. I know it's a Gemara. It's not a Hasidic Shavar.
That's the same thing with the nuts.
Did you ask that question on the Gemara?
We can ask any question we want on the Gemara.
No, did you ask that question when we did the Gemara?
Wow.
Did I ask? I have no idea. I think so. I think you just listen and you say, whenever it gets to gematrias and all that, so what are you going to do? Right? It's not off. It's not off. It's just using one set of strings as opposed to, I mean, I would think that you have to add on another, it's 13. You got to add on another 26, another 39 to this equation because each corner, right? So I don't know. I don't know what the pshat is. Okay, but whatever it is, that's where the 613 gets represented from. Therefore, everybody has to be careful that they should have a talis cotton that they wear every day. Okay.
What's the maluban?
So now, what he means by this is that really, you only have to wear tzitzis if you have a 4-cornered garment. If you don't have a 4-cornered garment, there's no certainly no chiyuv. There's no chiyuv. No, even the Rabbanon. There's no.
They institute to have it anyways.
They say so. They say that the Rabbanon were misakin. I don't know if it's I don't even know if misakin is the right word. The Rabbanon said you should make sure you have a talis cotton so that you get the mitzvah. But the ikr din is only if you happen to be wearing 4 corners, then you need tzitzis on them. Right, but the Kitzur is saying, and that's what it says Shulchan Aruch, that the Chachamim said that everybody should be wearing 4-cornered beged. Right, so a lot of people say, well, if I'm not getting an aveira if I don't wear tzitzis. So why do I have to wear tzitzis? So that was it. That was what the Chachamim said. You should put yourself into the chiyuv of.
Who says that? The people that don't want mitzvahs?
There are people that say that. Sure, I'm
saying they don't want mitzvahs. They just don't want averas. But they don't want mitzvahs either.
Yeah, I don't understand the people that don't want to wear tzitzis. I mean, what is the big deal? You wear tzitzis and you get mitzvahs the whole day, right? Why would you not want to do that? It's just to wear an extra garment.
You're not into it.
What are you saying, Ravan?
What is he saying? What is the kids are saying? Shakula v'soli boy komen to school, and what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Means that the Torah equated the putting on tzitzis to all 613 mitzvahs.
Again, I don't know what that means.
That means if you wear tzitzis, it's the equivalent of keeping all 613. It doesn't say it's equivalent of getting all 613 mitzvahs. Thank you. It's just its importance is like the weight of 613 mitzvahs. Meaning, because by wearing the tzitzis, it's supposed to remind you that that there's 613 mitzvahs that a yid is supposed to do at all times. Sort of like a badge, no? Is that a way to say it?
So you really should be chayav to wear whatever your top beged is. You should wear the tzitzis on top of that beged.
Oh, that's
not only what B'nai Brak does. On top of your coat, you should wear it. Not on top of your shirt. On top of your coat. Otherwise, what's the difference? You don't see it. You don't see it doesn't remind you of anything.
I would think that would also mean that you can't tuck them in because then you don't see them. And what point are they?
Well, you could tuck in 3 sides, Jesse. You only leave one side out.
That's a good point, right?
Most people that are tucking in all 4. So why are you
I
allowed to do
understand
that?
I'm saying what Rabbi Yaakov said 5 minutes ago about the Taryag. That's what I'm saying.
I usually end up with one either coming out of my zipper, out of my bag, whatever. You know what I mean?
You're fulfilling the mitzvah according to Rabbi.
I guess so, right? You put the Mila together with the tzitzis, you know. Anyway,
why is Lila not as much tzitzis? If it's for
Lila's not as much, we'll get to why Lila's not as much tzitzis.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot to talk about that way.
Yeah.
So, Rabbi, what is like a construction where just schwitzing all day long?
So where does it say that schwitzing makes you potter from tzitzis?
No, it's a design for the baggage, huh?
who says?
Why?
Schwitzing or playing sports?
Do you take off the
He's talking about construction. He was asking about construction work. But sports too. Why should it be a patura? There's nothing chashuv about a beged of tzitzis. I hate to say it. Me'ikar adin, you could throw out tzitzis too. You just wrap them up and throw them out. Me'ikar adin. It says it's better to put it into shemus. With the tzitzis, yes.
Didn't we just equate them to all 613 mitzvahs? And now you tell me there's no chashivas to them?
Yes. Yes. How long you involved with this religion? That should come as no surprise. Right? But
a lulav
learn
that we
something
use for
new
8
every Monday
days.
night.
But a lulav in 8 days we can't.
a lulav also you could throw out.
Yeah, but you have to do it nicely, no? Like
No, so same thing with tzitzis. Nicely. It's nicely. Once the mitzvah's done, it's done. That's a different sugya. But
should we burn our tzitzis with
we burn our tzitzis with chametz?
With chametz also?
You know, Taka, I don't know. I don't
using
know.
a mitzvah for a mitzvah.
Maybe. They should burn the tzitzis with the chametz.
Puzzle it tzitzis.
No, why puzzle? Why is it
Of course, not kosher tzitzis.
No, I'm
or
saying
worn out.
One of the friends was surprised when he said that. That's what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
No, nothing. I was saying that I shouldn't get all upset, whoever was over there by you in the shul.
Right.
When you said the birth the tzitzis.
But anyways,
why
shouldn't you wear your tzitzis when you swim? Who says you shouldn't?
I don't know. I don't know.
How about when you shower?
Oh, no, you can't. So that can't be on the body.
First of all, where does it come that it can't be on the body?
That's what
the Velt says. That's what the Velt says. I don't know exactly where that comes from, but we'll have to see. We're only getting started with the tzitzis. But the bottom line is the Kitzur clearly passes. That was Shulchan Aruch says that it's a pretty. He says Tzara Kolish Liyas Nizar Shatia Loitalis Cotton Shem Melubash Bakalayah. Everybody's got to be wearing a talis cotton the whole day. And then he brings in the footnote here that you really have to have 2 pairs of tzitzis. This is when I saw this years ago, I was like, what? This is what can make Yidden go a little bit tipsy. Says you should always have a second pair of tzitzis in your house. In case your first pair gets puzzle, you have an immediate replacement.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like your wife says, how are you wearing that?
I would hope you have more than 1 pair of tzitzis.
That's true, but we're talking about back then. He brings it from the Ma'ir Yeshenim. I don't know who that is, but that you should have an extra pair.
It was the Vekar.
If you think about it, there's no chiyuv to have tzitzis on. They decided that you should have tzitzis. So let's say your tzitzis becomes puzzle. No, so you go get yourself another pair, right? You're not being over on any isurim. But no, he says you should have an extra pair. I don't know if that's makubal. You're right. Most people have more than 1 pair of tzitzis hanging around the house. But
another good reason to have tzitzis is matzah from Avera.
What?
Tzitzis is
that's part of what it's supposed to be. Then he also brings from the Arizal that you should wear tzitzis at night also, meaning when you go to sleep. Which the Mishnah Berurah does bring. Right? And it's a skula, shmira, gedoyla, tzadikim gedoyla, doris ekpido alzeh. Right, so that's where the chassidim get it. Many chassidim get it that they wear tzitzis even when they sleep at night.
Taka?
Yeah, sure. Fine. Okay, so now what is it made out of? The siya, back in the Kitzur, the siya shel tzemer. Now we go with this one, okay? The siya, and it should be shel tzemer rechelim lavan. It should be made out of wool from sheep, and it should be white. Okay, now, yeah, so that's really, I mean, it's going to really be later on in Sifkei Beis. I don't know if we should handle that now.
Talis Gadol is a chilik.
What?
Talis Katan and Talis Gadol there's a chilik between the two.
No, there's no really halakha.
So those colorful rainbow talisim.
One second. It doesn't say anything here about having.
We're just talking about the tzitzis.
I mean, also, excuse me, Mr. Landau, $3,000 Torahs he didn't mention yet either.
Oh, that should be fine.
Right. But anyway, so he's saying that it should be made out of wool and it should be white. Now, where did the black lines come from? So really, I hate to say it for all those anti-tzedakah.
Isn't it a zecher lechorban for the blue?
It's not a zecher lechorban, it's a zecher to the blue. So why is it not blue?
Because we don't have the right blue.
Oh, because
so then what, you make it black?
Why didn't we make it green?
Israel guys in the
no, because you want to make it blue because you want
it. Once we don't have the blue, so why black? Why not green?
Right. So I guess black is a conservative color, maybe. I don't know.
Seems to be a big part of our wardrobe.
Yeah, but imagine if it was green, we'd all be wearing green and white shirts.
Well, the Svardim keep it white on white. They don't have black lines, right? As I'm sure the Olam is familiar, right?
Right.
The question is like this: what's with cotton tzitzis? Even though that sugi is later, but what's with cotton tzitzis? So the question is as follows: how come cotton tzitzis doesn't have black lines? I was looking into this today a little bit. I couldn't find anybody with an answer to this. Why don't the cotton tzitzis have black lines? I personally wear cotton tzitzis.
You should ask Keter.
What? And you think Keter's going to know the answer to this?
Because the people that are wearing the cotton
tzitzis
don't want the black
lines. Is it easy to dye cotton? I guess.
It's easier to dye cotton. You're saying the people that wear cotton don't care about the black lines.
They don't want the black lines.
The only svara I could think of is that the bottom line is that tzitzis are supposed to be wool. Meikar, right? According to everybody, wool tzitzis is what it's supposed to be. The question is, are you also yaitze with cotton? Right? So meaning the legit tzitzis were with wool. So wool gets the black lines. Which, by the way, those that wear blue lines, l'chayra, are just as fine, if not better, than the black lines. Lani is taiti, right? If it's a zecher for tchelis, right? But that's the only thing.
According to that logic with the cotton, then you should only need one knot, if that's the case. You know, if Meikar did is supposed to only need one knot on the strings, why should that make a difference? That because it's cotton versus wool. So I don't understand that logic.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Meaning, if it's supposed to have the black stripe, then put the black stripe on. What is so if Meikar is supposed to have wool? So who cares? Okay, so I'm supposed to have wool. So
no, meaning I don't know if they. Okay, Anachanami. I don't think they meaning if the original. Why are you putting on black lines to as a zecher to the original tzitzis that had tchelis? So the original tzitzis was made out of wool. If you already don't have the original tzitzis,
I thought that Al is supposed to be what's it called? Supposed to have the veg is supposed to be the same color as the string. So that's the. And then if you're now if you can add a stripe, it has to be connected the strings.
Well, that's why the Svardim is white. First of all, why do you need stripes at all?
Why do we talk?
No, because
they just said.
What?
What's zecher to watch tchelis? What are we talking about?
Why, the reason why we have black lines on the talis and on the wool talis cotton is a zecher for the tchelis.
How is that a zecher for tchelis?
That's what we're asking. I don't know.
It's for the colorblind.
No, what tchelis? Mamish don't understand. I really have no idea.
The tchelis was tzitzis, and this is in the middle of the beged.
Is supposed to be tchelis, not the beged.
Right.
It's because black lines matter.
It's not funny anymore, Jessica. Okay, already.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder
Aaron, you're
if
as
it's supposed to be
confused as all of us.
it's supposed to be the zecher the tchelis, and then you did it on the
One
strings.
second.
It was
The
the
beggar
wrong
that they wore
color.
back then was blue. Does anybody know? The halach is also that can you have colorful tzitzis?
Yeah.
No,
Not the beggar, the strings.
no.
Why not?
Why it's supposed to be tchelis?
My father, my grandfather never had it.
They never had it. Good, but
Yeah,
why
but even the
didn't they have
tchelis is one string.
So that's
It's
what
not.
their father said.
It's not.
because
not all of them.
because the strings are supposed to be the same color. That's what Dave was saying. The strings are supposed to be the same color as the beggar. Oh, you say your beggar's already yellow. Okay, it's a kasha for the mice, right? But it's supposed to be white.
Wait a second. Wait, no. I don't accept that. Who said
That's what it
the
is.
strings have to be the same color as the beggar? Where did that come from?
Material.
When it was, you see, Yaakov, it says in here, the Kitzur.
I don't know if the kids are.
That's in the
Where does it
Rambam.
say such
The
a thing?
Rambam says it.
No.
What?
No. Where you got that from?
Yes, it
You're
is.
supposed to put sitzes on a beggar.
Where?
It doesn't
Where
tell
does it
you
say
what
that?
you can buy a purple shirt.
say on the
You can
box.
buy
Exactly.
No, I
a
believe it's the
green
Rambam
coat.
that says it. I don't know if it goes
What?
from the Gemara or not.
It's that's what it's supposed to be. I don't remember the Makar. You, Dave, you have the Makar?
I believe it's the Rambam. I could try, go back and look.
The material is supposed to be the same.
The material, yeah, but the color too. No,
Not
yes.
the color.
I'm telling you, it is up there.
Uh-oh.
Rushiaka, you're parceling off here for Meir Sharim because
But one second.
if you walk
Why?
around,
You're parceling
around
the
Meir
Kavafi.
Sharim, I'm talking about.
What
the
do you
kids,
mean?
not
If I have a four-cornered garment, that's yellow. That's green. I don't have to wear green tzitzis.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying walk around Meir Sharim, forgetting the men, but the kids can hara. They have tzitzis on all kinds of different colored begodim that they end up having. That people make them, their mothers made them, their fathers got a regular shirt and they put sitters on. I never have.
Yeah, okay, I'll find the Makar. I'll find the Makar.
But maybe that's how it started on the beggar itself, the black stripe. Because if you put it onto the string, then people are going to think that it's techeles. So to differentiate, you put it onto the beggar.
Maybe.
So you don't think that
maybe.
That's before Eichler's.
Chabad.org, okay, has this.
Oh boy, that's a real Makar right there. Yeah, what do they say?
They
Okay.
bring it down from the Heintiger Rebbe.
The Zohar explains that white represents chesed, blue, black, dark stripe represents gerura, guard severity. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So what? So.
And furthermore, the mitzvah.
That's why they pick black.
Begins when it is light enough for one to distinguish between white and techelet. Since we no longer have the techelet, the black stripe in the cloth of the talit can be used to ascertain whether it's time for reading the Shema has yet arrived. So,
that's interesting.
Who
did they bring that from? Do you hear what he's saying?
No.
He's saying that because what was the whole thing with when do you know when the proper time to read Shema in the morning is?
From Karti to Tchelis, yeah.
Right, so you have to know the difference in the colors between the Tchelis and right. In the early morning, you're supposed to be able to tell when it's light enough that you can tell the difference between the colors.
But black is
so that's why, but we don't.
Black's harder. Black's harder to see.
Ability to do that. So therefore, they put the lines on the talis cotton, so that you'll be able to see the difference. You'll know when to daven. That's kind of interesting. I never heard that one. That sounds a good one. Who's that from?
I like that one.
9b, Chabad.org.
Okay, but they don't bring a source.
Mishnah Brachot 9b. Mishnah.
That's no. The Mishnah Brachos is telling you when it's time to read the Kriya Shema.
But isn't black is a bigger contrast, so you'll be able to read.
Correct.
Shema
You're right.
earlier.
That's the point. But the Maisa telling the difference between black and white is going to be a lot earlier Zman than telling the difference between Tcheles and Karti, whatever it is.
Right.
That's right. So I hear. Okay, now I got it. Now you're making me nervous about this white thing that I have to find.
But the first thing about the Zecher Tchelis that Aaron didn't like, okay, that comes from the Pri Megadim Orach Chaim Siman 9 SK6.
Ooh, Avi Santek's throwing out the Mar Mekayim. That what?
Okay, so it says
he came to play today.
Siman 9 S.K. 6.
That what? That's what.
Some suggest that the stripes are remind us of the blue tchelis. Indeed, some communities have
that's a Pri Megadim. Yes, if I remember correct, that's a Pri Megadim.
Right. So Aaron's got to argue with the Prima Garden. That's it.
No, I'm not arguing.
What am I arguing
with the Prima Garden? Avi, if you have white, if your tzitzis are white and you're wearing stripes on the beggar that's underneath your shirt, how was that reminding you of tchelis?
Oh,
Okay?
I understand. I understand that it's because at the end of the day,
if you said something, you want to explain it. Then tell me how. I'm not arguing with you. I could argue with my eyes closed. But I'm not
that's true. You could argue with me forever, and I love it. But I think the point is that since you're not supposed to have tchelis, right? Until we actually have tchelis, and you don't want to sort of look like you have tchelis.
Avi,
put on
the
the
Prima Garden is telling you, Avi Sante,
so wait, you have to
wear your sisters on top of your blue shirt, your blue on top of your blue.
People who do have tchelis, on top, so they shouldn't have black on their tzitzis. They should have. They should have.
I don't know, Taka. Does anybody here have tchelis?
The people who do have tchelis, they should have
the blood of the chila zone has black.
They have stripes on the big. That's a good question. I don't know. I never noticed.
If you hold it,
I'm also
have tchelis now.
I'm also googling
what's your
stuff.
reason for having black?
Right.
It says the blood of chila zone is black.
Is that so? So then all these guys that are wearing blue tchelis,
and after it's processed, it comes out blue. After
right, so that I know in the whole machlokes over whether our tchelis is legit or not, they say
the
that.
Regina, that's the Regina.
Yeah, but who says? But so why would we put it on the way it is in the initial process? It should be the one it is later. Right?
Because he has no idea why the company.
Wait! I have something else over here, by the way. The reason why it's black is the morning. Black is the color of mourning.
I know some people have.
Yeah, well,
Chabad is not done yet.
The korban of the tchelis.
That's more.
The korban of the tchelis.
That's what Jesse said. That's what Jesse had said.
Different colors.
It's mourning for the tchelis.
I do remember one thing when I worked.
That didn't come from me. That came from my Rebbe in Eretz Yisrael. When I asked Rav Scheinberg about tchelis, I asked him his opinion about tchelis. He said, "Look at my tzitzis."
He didn't have all his pairs. With all his pairs, he didn't have any.
Not one.
I don't know why everybody makes a big deal about doing it. I don't understand why not.
What, the tchelis?
Yeah, why is everybody so against it?
Because if you're doing it wrong, you're making a bracha on something that's wrong.
Isn't it a suffix deraisa?
How do you know you're not doing it wrong enough? How do you know you're not doing it wrong enough?
If it's not the right, again, if you go back to the begging and the strings, not the right one.
The main reason why was tchelis is because it's been makubal for Dairis and Dairis that until Mashiach comes, we're not wearing tchelis. We lost it and we lost. The Radziner thought he had it, right? And everybody's like, where? And came out, it was seemingly incorrect. I don't know, but that's what they say, right? So now these guys think they have it correct.
And they also said halal today.
The Messiah was that we're not wearing tchelis again until Mashiach. That's all.
Nor are we saying halal today. Same idea.
Okay, and then some also tiny that even if you do have the tchelis, there's like 40 different opinions of how to do it. Right. So either way, even if you're getting the tchelis, you're not getting it with we don't know exactly which opinion to go by. Okay, whatever it is. So it's bottom line is it should be. There you go. Okay, so very good. Thank you. Okay, it's the Machaber. Okay, one of the fellows here found it. Yesh Imrim. Googled it. Yeah, Yesh Imrim. It's Siman Test Sif Hey. Yeah, Yesh Imrim shetzarich lasas at tzitzis mitzeva hatalis. The tzitzis has to be the same color of the talis. But medaktikin noyigin kain and the medaktikin are noyig to do that. That's what it is. Now it's mishum zekeli ve'anveyu. Right?
So, but okay.
Which is interesting because I thought the Kitzur brought it, but he doesn't bring it here. He says zekeli ve'anveyu, he doesn't bring this. Which is interesting. Right? Maybe you could say the Kitzur, but thank you. Thank you for finding that. But then he says, "V'ashkenazim ein noigin lasas tzitzis rak levonim, af bebegodim tzuim ve'ein l'shanas." That's Rabban. That's a Yerushalmi minhag. That's what the Ashkenazim are noyig to always make it white, even if the beged is colored. Ve'ein l'shanos, and the Ramah says, don't change the minhag. That's always the way the Ramah writes it. Don't change the minhag. Right? So that's what he says. That's what the Mishavura says, that mikol makom, you should make sure that your talis cotton is white. That like this, you could be yaitza with all the days. Meaning, why should you go against the Ramah? Why should you go against the Mechaber and wear a black shirt and white tzitzis, right? A white black garment, and wear white tzitzis. You might as well wear white tzitzis. Like this, everybody's happy with that, right? And what about, then he says, and what about the lines on the beged? So that's not the color of the tzitzis. So he says we go basa the ikar of the garment, we don't go with the stripes. Right? Okay, so there we go. So in Miyashav all the kashas, right? And it's Dave, it's a Rambam. Yeah, it's the Rambam. That's the Mekar Rambam. That's pretty good. You found it. Very impressed. You get a prize. Get another piece of chimchurri. Yeah. Anyway.
Only because he ate it.
Maybe Tiger, he ate it. See, that's like eat chimchurri and then you get okay.
Yeah, I remember
from the right hafshi, you get
a working Kitzur. Somebody brought in the pallet, and I wanted, but the Baruch said you can't have that because the talus was full of color. I mean, the colors of
the colorful talus.
It was very, very cute. But must have been very expensive.
Right.
But it was all kind of colors. The tzitzis, of course, was white.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so he brings here on the footnote that he brings the Ashkenazi minig is you make the talus with either chal, which is blue. Light blue or black. He brings from the Leket Yosha. It's either light blue or black, right? So I know that if you come into shul with a light blue, right, it's coming from the Leket Yosha. It's a pretty good source. But you've come into shul with a light blue talus, you're not doing a shidduch with anybody. I can tell you that right now, right? There's nobody that's going to be doing it. In Sfas, you'll get a shidduch. Maybe that's conservative. Okay, but
it's conservative.
Very good. Very good. Okay, now what's the shear? Okay, ready for the shear now? Ugedoyla kishir. Now back in the Kitzur. Ugedoyla kishir. You have to make sure you wear a talis cotton that's the proper measurement. Dahainu gimel revi'e amma ba'arech. It has to be 3/4 of an amma in the length, and chatzi amma b'roichav, and a half an amma wide.
That's not big at all.
That's not big at all. But Yeshayimrim, amma al amma. So the Yeshayimrim says it should be an amma by an amma, which is a lot more.
On one side, so it has to be two ammas. So that's right.
Oh, so now what does this mean? So what does this mean? The entire beged should be that? There's two questions. One, is it the entire beged when it's not on you? Does it have to have this measurement in front and the measurement in the back? Also, what about the opening? Is the opening included in the calculation? Right. So really, me'ikar adin, it's just the beged. Somebody just asked this to me. I think one of the guys that was just becoming from that is a tiny pair of tzitzis, and he wanted to wear it. And lamaisa, all you need is a garment that's 3/4 of an amma by a half amma. So how much is that? 3/4 of an amma, even the maximum according to the Chazon Ish.
No, it's 24, 3/4, 18 inches.
What?
18 inches.
3/4, 18. According to the Chazon Ish would be
18.
An amma.
It's 24 inches. So
he's less than 20. Okay, it's like 22 inches. Plus
no, Maisha was 22.
That's a quarter of that.
Maisha was 22.
I took a picture of the shiurim according to.
Chazon Ish was 24 inches. Maisha was 22 and a half.
Hold on a second. But whatever it is, that's the entire beged, right? If you go with amma by an amma, so what is it? 24 by 24.
Yeah.
How does that work?
He says here that between 14.2 and 17.1 would be 3/4 of an amma.
What he's saying,
right?
Right.
And the length, an amma is either 18.9 to 22.7.
Oh, so it's even less. Yeah.
It's a little bit less.
Is he quoting the Chazon Ish there?
He's going with the Chazon Ish as the maximum.
What's
this is the footnote in the Art Scroll Kitzur. Ramesha's in the middle there. Ramesha's in the middle.
I thought Ramesha was 22.
It's basically the Reb Chaim Noah, Ramesha in the middle, and the Chazon Ish at the top.
22.
At the top, right? So now, what's the pshat? Because the minimum shear is supposed to be able to cover the head and most of the body of a 9-year-old boy. That's the measurement. That's where the measurement comes from, right? So what's with the opening?
Super small on
Is this how you translate a beged though, or is this just for tzitzis? Meaning is a beg anything less than that considered to be a beged, and then it's not gonna, if it's less than that, then it wouldn't be considered like you're wearing it, and then bring in Shabbos and you can carry or not carry.
Yeah. It's not. That's the minimum share of a beged. But he brings the Mishpura brings it's proper that you should have the shear in front of you and the shear behind you. So now that's already makes everything a lot more chomer, because if you're talking about 18, what do we say? 22 inches? No, let's go with the bigger shear. Amma by an amma. So 22 inches altogether. That's nothing. It's like a bib.
Yeah, because
right?
a little longer.
Yeah. So maybe Taka, I mean, if all the, here we go. I'm sorry, I'm gonna tick off the exercise people now, okay? So the guys that run the marathon wear bibs in the front and the back with their number on it, and it doesn't stare them. So what, you can't wear tzitzis the size of a bib that's gonna stare you?
Are you saying you're able to pin it to your shirt the same way?
Why not? Why not? You put it over your head and you pin it. Oh, I forgot you're a marathon runner. Yeah, he did
that's the question. If I can do it the same way, then I'll do it. You tell me I can do it the same exact way.
You can pin the Why can't you pin it onto your shirt? What's the big deal?
It's not going over your head.
What?
It's not going over your head.
What's it? Your shirt is.
So you put it over
your shirt is going over your head.
Oh, so now it's not the same.
Oh, come on. What is
it's
it?
The same as your shirt.
Over your shoulder?
Not 1 second. I don't think that anyone can weigh in until they do it.
Okay, you're right. I'll hand you that. Yes, if I have to run a marathon.
All right, I'm out.
I'm out. Counts, yes. But anyways, so, and this we had this in Erev in Taka with Asi Avir the high. Remember that if I don't want to bring up Erev from the Daf Yomi, but there's a rule that if you have space and space, in between there's an amud, so it can be mavatal. So the Chazon Ish says, based on that if the opening for your neck is smaller than the shoulders of the tzitzis, meaning let's say this shoulder is 10 inches, and this shoulder is 10 inches, and the opening for the neck is 8 inches, then that 8 inches gets included in the shear.
So it has to be a lot more.
One second, it's to each shoulder separately or total?
See, Yaakov.
I think he said each shoulder. I don't remember. But I have to check.
Based on these calculations, you're saying that's why in the Haim they wore way smaller tzitzis than we wear now.
They did what?
Way smaller begodim than we wear now. Way smaller.
I don't know. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's from Naphtali. Yes, yeah.
Who said that?
From Rabbi Yeager. Yeah. But the V-neck, if you wear a V-neck, right, you have a round neck and then V-neck. The V-neck for sure counts. The V part, that for sure counts towards the measurement of the beged. The neck part, maybe not, depending on how big it is.
I don't think people are wearing the minimum shear, by the way.
What do you mean? There's some people want to wear size 18 tzitzis, right? Size 18 is not so simple. I mean, I personally, when people ask, you want to be Yaitz the Chazon Ish, you really need 24, because 22 is going to be. Also, you got to give, if it's cotton, you got to make a cheshbon for shrinkage, right? Wool.
That's assuming you wash them.
That's assuming that.
Or you sweating them. Correct. Or you sweating them.
Or sweat, all right. Or it punches up. Okay, if it's late already. It's a short daf, so I'm sorry. I'll be back on in a few minutes. Okay, Zag is a. Sorry, he was a little rowdy tonight. So you bailed me out, so I thank you.
When I told them the Kitzur when I was in Boston, I was telling them 18 for the kids, 22 for adults, and 24, and maybe for the fat.
Excuse me. I wear 26. Good. Why? I don't know. I just wear 26
because you want to be more Hasidic, more
Hasidic. I wear cotton even in the winter.
Yeah, but I'm just trying
I'm
to bring.
I'm a Reb Chaim Kanievsky guy.
Yeah,
Chazanish, Gra.
Yeah. But anyway, but I was telling you, mainly, I think it's all really according to the size you wear all the time. Like me, 22. Some people 24, 26, because then it's more wide out. And it doesn't make a difference if it's a V-neck or not. For instance, like you know anything like that, but if you take your
Look at that. A stick.
We're gonna make
that stick. Where's 26?
We're gonna make a 26 club.
26 of
yeah.
No, 20. I think 20.
Have a good night, everybody.
My parents have
Can't believe we're having the all-night shift. Are you having a yeshiva or? I don't know yet. The yeshiva has the whole reputation pushing going. It was
I'm going to check.